into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Roger Craig for enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, his former teammate Jamie Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Craig has elected to deliver his acceptance remarks in a video. Please direct your attention to the screens throughout the stadium.
You spend your whole life trying to prove if you belong. And then one day, you're told you're one of the all-time greats. Man, it's overwhelming. I think about that kid from Davenport who loved football. I think about the journey more than anything. The early mornings, the doubts, the sacrifices. It all led here. I want to thank the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the people of Canton who honored this game and preserve this history. To all the Hall of Famers here today, thank you for building this game, elevating it, and setting the standard for a generation that follows. It's an honor to join you. And to my teammates, the class of 26, congratulations. When I look at this class, Drew, Larry, Luke, and Adam, I see some of the greatest players to ever play this game. I retired in 1993 before any of these guys have played the NFL snap. Like so many football fans, I spend years watching and admiring what they have accomplished on the field. It's a privilege to be part of the Hall of Fame with you. I want to thank Sal P. for presenting me and helping me tell my story. But this story begins with my parents. Hard work wasn't an option in my house. It was expected. They taught me three things that helped shape my life. Work hard, stay humble, keep your faith. My father, Elijah, worked as a mechanic at Wonder Bread. Before senior year in high school, he was diagnosed with lung cancer and passed away at 45 years old. He never got to see Nebraska. He never got to see the NFL. But everything I became started with him. My mother raised 7 children and worked the night shift as a machine operator. She sacrificed more than any of us would ever know. I always looked up to my older brother, Curtis. I wanted to be just like him. He, my parents, and my coaches helped shape the man I became. Nebraska is where I became a man. Coach Tom Osborne taught discipline, accountability, and doing things the right way. It wasn't just football, it was preparation for life. I believed in myself, but I also knew nothing was guaranteed. I wasn't the biggest guy. I wasn't the fastest. I knew I had to outwork people. When I was drafted by the 49ers, I remember thinking, this was my shot. When I learned that Bill Walsh wanted me, that meant something because he saw something in me that others didn't. He didn't just want a running back. He wanted a complete football player. He trusted me to do whatever the team needed. That's why the 1,000 yards rushing, the 1,000 yards receiving season means so much to me. We weren't chasing numbers. We were chasing W's, wins. I didn't realize I was making history. It just felt like we were doing something special as a team. Looking back, I appreciate how difficult it is and how few players have done it since. What means the most is knowing we helped expand what people thought a running back could be. None of that happens without great teammates. What made those 49er teams special? We weren't selfish. Nobody cared who got the credit. We cared about winning. I was blessed to share the field with some incredible people. There are far too many teammates to name, but I wouldn't be standing here without them. Ronnie Lott was my roommate, my business partner, and my brother. Being around Ronnie made me better. Joe Montana was always Joe Cool. You would look into his eyes in the huddle and just know we are good. We all miss Dwight Clark, dependable, on the field and off it. Jerry Rice gets a lot of credit for running that hill. What people may not know, that work started before Jerry. The hill wasn't about being seen. It's about being better. No shortcuts, just the work. I showed Jerry the hill, and he took it to another level. That was Jerry. I had to thank Eddie DeBartolo, the greatest owner in the NFL. Eddie took care of his players and treated us like family. His belief in me means more than he ever knew. I'm grateful that I get to join him, Coach Wash, and so many of my teammates here in Canton. I also want to thank the York family and the entire 49ers organization. Thank you for continuing to embrace former players and keeping us connected to the organization. I was fortunate to spend time with the Raiders and Vikings later in my career. They were different experiences, different culture. I learned something everywhere I went. But those years also showed me just how special what we built in San Francisco really was. I want to thank Vivek Ranadive for giving me a chance after football to explore a new career in tech and always having my back. I also want to thank my presenter, Jamie Williams. Nobody will believe this, but me and Jamie went to elementary school, junior high school, college, and won a Super Bowl in San Francisco. He's like a brother to me. Nobody understands me better because we come from the same place, the same journey, and the same foundation. Jamie, thank you for honoring me today. Having you here means more than I can put in words. And most importantly, my family, especially my wife, Vanessa. She is my high school sweetheart. She's been by my side through every chapter in this journey. I am blessed to be the father of Demisha, Romitra, Roderick, Alex, and Nia, and the grandfather of Nyla, Remy, Huntley, Harlan, and baby Roger. When I look at my family, that's what I'm most proud of. The championships were special, the records were special, but they are my greatest blessing. Today, there's another chapter I want to share. I've been diagnosed with vascular dementia that my doctors believe may be related, at least in part, to the concussions I experienced during my career. The changes were gradual. At first, they were easy to dismiss as normal aging. Over time, my family noticed it too, and ultimately led us to seek answers from my doctor. Two things can be true. Football gave me opportunities beyond anything I could imagine. It helped shape the man I became. At the same time, we know more today about brain health than when I played. And I hope sharing my story encourages people to pay attention to their health and seek help when something doesn't feel right. I want people to know this diagnosis doesn't define me. I am still Roger Craig. I am still a father, a husband, a teammate, a friend, and someone who loves this game and the people who brought it to my life. If sharing my story helps even one family or one former player, then it's worth it. Football gave me everything: opportunity, discipline, lifelong friends, and a platform to grow as a man. This honor belongs to my parents, who started it all. It belongs to my wife, Vanessa, my children and grandchildren, and it belongs to every coach, teammate, and fan who was a part of this journey. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this game, grateful for the people it brought into my life, and grateful I can stand before you today and call this journey a blessing. Thank you.
I can't thank Roger Craig enough for